Welcome back. I'm Tyler, you're watching Scarfing Scarves, and welcome to the 6th installment of last week Lolita News. At the top of the segment, Angelic Pretty made it rain blood with their latest re-release of Misty Sky. The popular print series has previously resold on the secondhand market for $700, and sources say that of those who attempted to purchase it, at least 4/5 would stab you with a parasol to increase their chances. No one seems to care that it consists of little more than a sack with some clouds printed on it, and this reporter would like to go on record saying that anyone this obsessed with condensed water vapor should be classed as a direct threat to societal good. Hashtag cloud porn posts are usually the first symptoms, and experts recommend you contact the proper authorities should you suspect your friend or family member of selling their kidneys to afford the garment equivalent of a so-so meteorological event. Get back to me when you're wearing a tornado. Moving on to social news, popular Facebook group Rufflechat tossed off one more shred of hope for humanity in a kerfuffle that became more than 200 comments long. The commotion began with a thread questioning whether or not one could participate in Lolita fashion without acting entitled, and developed quite like one would expect from a gathering of reasonable, mature women. A larger disabled woman with limited means called the majority of Lolitas rich, skinny bitches and was absolutely gobsmacked that anyone was mad. Apparently a member of the London, UK Lolita community, what started out as complaints against her fellows' lack of inclusiveness for poor, plus-sized, encumbered members quickly turned ugly as she was confronted with the prospect that people were actually interested in proposing solutions. Suggestions she make her own meats, co-host with someone else, or do anything other than lie on the floor and scream like a demented toddler were met with cries of entitlement and ableism, and apparently the London Com didn't take too kindly to being classed as an exclusionary social club of rich snobby bitches. Reports say the woman still doesn't understand why all Lolitas can't be lovelies. Turning towards new releases, Lady Sloth is titillating the masses with a sneak peek at a sweet print that's turning heads. Rose Cat found something to do with their extra shower curtain, and Angelic Pretty has brought their base to a frothing boil with the latest release of photos of a retro-inspired skirt. The AP series is said to be called Diner Girl and represents a welcome turn towards 2010 sweet from a brand a little too enamored of shoving crosses into every goddamn print. No one knows as of yet whether or not they'll obscure the entirety of it with a layer of fabric out of spite, and we're waiting with bated breath to see if they go with full-back shirring. Meanwhile, Lady Sloth is yet to release a name for their coffee creation, but rodent-related food safety hazard aside, this reporter would like to say that I have high hopes that their first venture into sweet won't end in a fantastic explosion of utter awful. This print is the perfect blend of whimsy and maturity. I want it, and for the love of God, after the bland stampede of Angelic Pretty letdowns, I need something to love. Don't disappoint me. As that about wraps up the week, we return to that website everyone loves to hate in a bit called What If Lace Market. The premise is simple. Eyebrows here, find something that confuses, disturbs, or makes me question the whole of humanity, and you benefit from the dark marks it leaves on my soul. So, without further ado, let's get this going. What the fuzz that? Outside of the fact that I'm pretty sure a sordid affair between a training bra and a child's bed sheets is illegal in the US, nothing says I reject the oppressive body standards presented to women quite like adopting the equivalent of a couple of jellyfish fucking as your basic torso. The oddly sewn cups are the perfect distraction for anyone who makes it past the mating sea creatures at your midsection, and at only 150 USD, you'd be hard-pressed to find another solution for the male gaze that both disturbs and arouses a sudden interest in SeaWorld in one go. They'll be too busy making sure boobs don't come in that shape to bother you, and you can slip off into the sunset with the full knowledge that you've disturbed someone on a sexual plane that may well haunt them for the rest of their life. They can't look at a blowfish without getting a strange boner, and you have ruined them for the foreseeable future. That's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for watching last week Lolita News, and be sure to tune in next week when we tackle the tough questions like, is cultural appropriation Lolita? Is smoking in Lolita tacky? And who do I have to write to get the multitudes of mini top hats loaded onto a rocket and fired into the sun? More on whether or not the world would greet me as a hero next time on Last Week Lolita News. This has been Tyler, you've been watching Scarfing Scarves, and I'll catch you next time.